So if you want to increase your net worth and build your wealth fast, don't have kids. I'm only joking.
Save pennies in the money box for your next stop today.
Your next shop?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for the advice. Say bye.
Bye.
So this channel is about building wealth, but before you can build assets and compound your money, there's one thing you absolutely must do, and that is to reduce your liabilities. You can't build wealth if your liabilities outweigh the amount that you can save and invest. So in this video, I'm going to cover the 3 biggest liabilities that you can start to get rid of starting today that will help to lead on the path towards building wealth. I'm Jason, and if you haven't seen my channel before, I basically bang on about building wealth, increasing your net worth, and basically just improving your life through multiple streams of income. And to give you a quick briefing, my wealth building philosophy involves these 3 factors. So number 1 is to create an online income stream, so have your own online business. We then use most of the money from this to go on to step 2, which is to invest in property, particularly buy-to-let property that will bring in a monthly income from rentals. We then use the money from our rentals to then move on to step 3, which is to invest in dividend-paying stocks. Now, this is where you really start to earn a good solid passive income. This is the best way that I found to increasing my net worth and building wealth, and it's certainly a great way to get your money working for you. So if you want to learn more about this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can learn more about how you can get your money working for you better. So before you start implementing these 3 steps which I just mentioned, it's imperative that you start to reduce your liabilities and get rid of any debts that you currently have. So there is such a thing as good debt as well as bad debt, but there are also some ridiculous liabilities what a lot of people just don't realise. So hopefully if you stick around to the end of this short video, you'll be able to start implementing some of these and then start to build your own wealth from there. So the first kick in the teeth is credit cards. If you don't pay your credit card bill off on time, the chances are you're going to have to pay some hefty interest. So imagine your personal wealth is a clock face, and if you're paying credit card interest every month, then it's like your clock face is going backwards, it's going the wrong way. So if you want to increase your wealth, you're going to have to get your clock going the right way. And to do this, we need to stop paying interest. So firstly, make sure that you always pay off your credit card on time. And even better, get a credit card that actually rewards you for spending. Now, I put literally everything on my credit card. It's not because I can't afford it or haven't got the money to pay it off. It's because I use a credit card that rewards me. So for every pound that I spend, I get an air mile. So I use the Virgin Atlantic credit card, but I've also set it up so that a direct debit is paid every month to clear the whole balance. So although I do put everything on a credit card, I never actually pay any interest ever. I'm also hoping to use a reward to rack up a load of air miles so that in the future, when we are allowed to fly again, then I'm going to save a huge amount on flights somewhere, which will be a great benefit. So just by doing this alone, you're starting to reverse your clock face to go the correct way, whether it be air miles or shopping vouchers or just a small percentage of money back for every pound you spend. Whatever it is, it's helping towards reducing your liabilities and turning your clock face the right way. So by doing this, you're starting to head in the right direction. So rather than you paying out interest and giving it to the banks, they're actually giving something back to you. Now, I totally understand that the reason a lot of people put things on credit card is because they can't actually afford to buy it in the first place. Therefore, the credit card companies put an extortionate amount of interest on your payments. And if this is the case for you, then you really do need to do an overhaul of your finances. If you're looking at buying something but you probably can't afford it, then don't buy it. I know that you have to be disciplined, but to build wealth, you have to tighten up and make some sacrifices. And if there's something you really want, you've really got to try hard to not buy it, or at least try and find an alternative that doesn't cost as much. A lot of credit card companies now actually provide you with an online app so that you can actually keep track of everything you spend, and it's all there in one place. So that's another reason why I put everything on a credit card, is because I can see exactly everything that I've spent all on one statement, rather than having 2 or 3 different banks with money coming out left, right and centre. Did you know that the average individual credit card debt is over £5,000 or $5,000 if you're from the US? And also, an astonishing 55% of people don't actually make their monthly payments. So if you can wipe out your credit card debts, or at least pay off your balance in full every month, then you're already way ahead of a large percentage of people in the population. The second liability, which we're all guilty of, me included, is impulse spending. And you know what I'm talking about here. Like, you would literally leave the house not planning on spending anything, and then you return 100 notes down. And what has happened? And another thing we tend to waste a lot of money on is things like coffee. And I'm talking about the expensive branded coffee that we normally get on the go. You need to think to yourself, do you really need to be spending money on things that only give you short-term pleasures? Now, I'm not telling you to be completely frugal and never to have a coffee again or never go to Starbucks, but you could maybe cut back on them or find an alternative that's cheaper. So if you had, say, 5 Starbucks per week, maybe you could cut that down to 2, and the remaining 3 you could probably have a coffee that's made at home, which is a lot cheaper. Just a thought. Now, I know it doesn't sound like a big deal, but if you can cut back on 3 or 4 things like this in your life, then it'll soon add up and you'll soon start to reduce your liabilities. You'll have more money available to invest. Now, I know this doesn't sound like a great deal, but if you can just do this with 3 or 4 different things in your life, then you'll soon start to cut back, and then this money can go towards paying off any credit card bills or any debt that you have, and you'll be surprised at how quick you can actually pay off something when you cut back on unnecessary items like Starbucks every day. So remember, you must reduce your liabilities and debts before you can start to build wealth. Here's a quick example. If you could invest just £50 or $50 per month into a fund that could pay you 6% per year, and if you reinvested this interest year on year, then you're going to be quite surprised at the amount, how quick it builds up. So if you could just invest £50 per month, in 2 short years, you'd have £1,292. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The longer you keep reinvesting your profits, the sharper the graph starts to climb. So in 30 years, your £50 per month investment will be worth £47,000. And over this period, your total contributions would have been £18,000. So that gives you a profit of £29,000 just by saving £50 per month. Now, obviously that relies on you getting a 6% return on your investments. But from my experience, it's pretty easy to get a 6% return on your investment. There are plenty of funds out there. There are plenty of companies that pay dividends to that amount. It's very easily achievable. And these profits are not even taking into account the fact that the company that you've invested in, or the fund that you've invested in, will probably also rise in value over the period of time, which means even more profit for you. So next time that you waste a few pounds or a few dollars needlessly, just think of the effect it would have had if you'd invested it and compounded it over the years. So moving on to number 3, personal loans and finance options. Now, you probably don't need me to tell you that if you purchase something on finance or you take out a bank loan, then you're probably going to be hit with some extremely high interest rates. And this is the single biggest reason why most people never get out of debt. It's like a vicious circle. You see something that you really want, but you can't really afford it, so you go and get it on finance. Now, that's money you're paying out every month that could have been invested and gone towards increasing your net worth. Now, these monthly payments start to incur interest, and what usually happens is the monthly payments start increasing, but you can't actually afford to pay off the full balance, but you can just about pay off the monthly payments. So you carry on paying them, but your final balance never actually goes down. To make matters even worse, you go and borrow money from a different source to give you some breathing space, and then after a while, this new loan or finance deal that you've got ends up having an even higher interest rate, and you find yourself even more trouble. You'll quickly get stuck in a devastating downward spiral. Remember about your money working the right way around the clock? Well, when you start getting into this situation, Your money's only ever going to work the wrong way. You'll never get out of debt by continually looking for different sources of finance or loans. So if you have anything on finance or any loans, make it a priority that you try and pay these off as quickly as possible so that you can then use the money that you were throwing away to start saving and investing. Now there is one exception where I don't mind taking something on finance, and that is a family car. I won't go into detail on that right now, I'll cover it in another video, so make sure you subscribe and you won't miss any of my future videos, and you can also click the little bell so you'll get a notification when I upload a new video. But basically, most of us need a car, and cars depreciate at a very fast rate. So for me personally, I prefer to have a car on finance where I'm only paying the depreciation each month rather than putting all my money into a car and then the money dwindles away. I could invest that money and put it to work far better off than leaving it in a car what's depreciating. But anyway, more about that in a future video. So if this video has helped you out in any way, then that's great. And if it can help you increase your own personal wealth, then that's even better. So I wanted to keep this video as short as I can and very straight to the point. So hopefully I've achieved that. But if you want more information on building wealth and my own philosophies, like I said at the beginning, of running your own online company, online business, and then investing that into property, and then investing the money from property into dividend-paying stocks to give you plenty of passive income streams for the rest of your life, I've created a free mini course which basically explains everything I've just mentioned, and you can head over to my website jasonchesters.com and you can download it for free right now. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please hit the like button if you've taken anything useful from this video, or if you haven't, please leave a comment, or if I maybe have inspired you to start saving, then let's see it in the comment section, and I'll be bringing you plenty of other videos in the near future. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.